Hello and welcome to another video. My name is David. I'm an IT technician in the beautiful mountains of Western North Carolina, and today we are going to be taking a look at what I carry every day on site. For the longest time, I used to carry one backpack. I used to fit as many things as I could in it, and it was heavy. It was really heavy. I have now recently switched to two backpacks. One I use on site for cable running and rack mounting. The other one I use for network troubleshooting and network configuration. So I'm going to show you both. First, let's talk about the backpack. This is a Swissgear SA 1908. I've had this bag for 5 years now. It is a workhorse. I've put this thing through the worst conditions possible, fit as many things as I could as possible, and the zippers are fantastic. Nothing has broken on it. It's just a really solid bag. So let's go pocket by pocket and see what I carry. In the first pocket, we have the Dell laptop. This is a must. Well, a laptop at least is a must for any network technician. The next zipper, we have laptop charger and some patch cables. Nothing too fancy there. Okay, the next pocket, it gets a little bit more interesting. We have a black bag. And in this black bag, we have some cable testers. This is my main cable tester. It's a Klein Tool Pro Scout 3, and I use this thing very often. It is a cable tester. It tests voice, data, and coax. It also comes with remote receivers so that if you have, let's say, 5 cable runs, you can put one of these on each run, and then from one centralized location, map each cable run individually. These, however, aren't as useful as I hoped they would be because they don't also test the cable. They only map the cable. To test the cable, you need to upgrade to the map and test units. And I believe they're about $100 on Amazon. I will most likely purchase that for my next large cable run. Another good feature this tool has is it's able to tell the distance of a cable. That's very handy if you're wanting to verify that your cable run is under 100 meters or 328 feet. It is also very useful if you want to tell where in a cable there's a fault, because it not only tells the distance of the cable, but it also tells the distance of each pair. So if pair 1 and 2 is 100 feet and pair 7 and 8 are 20 feet, then you know you have an issue 20 feet in. And it's only those 2 pairs if all the others are reading the exact same length. It does take some calibration, and it varies depending on the type of cable you're using, Cat5e versus Cat6. But comparing relative values, it's a fantastic tool even if it's not calibrated perfectly. Another feature is it has a toner attached to it, but I have my own toner, which you'll see here in a second, so I rarely use that feature. It works fine. It's relatively loud. The only issue is there's no alligator clips, so there's no way to ground your toner if you need that. So moving on. Next in this bag, I've got another cable tester. It's just a Southwire, just a backup, and I've got a cheap fiber optic multimeter. I don't necessarily trust the readings I get from this, but one tool that I use very frequently is a visual fault locator, which is a fancy way of saying running a laser down a fiber and seeing if you can see it at the other end. And there is a second pocket in this that I have fiber patch cables for various different connections that I might need. This also has a cable testing functionality that I rarely use. Okay, moving on. The next tool in my bag is my toner and probe combo kit. This is an invaluable tool in locating cables. It's pretty straightforward whenever you have a cable that isn't attached on either end. You simply attach your cable that you're trying to locate on either through the RJ11 jack or the alligator clips. Turn on the toner, and when you press the button on the probe, the closer you get the cable that you are wanting to find, it gets louder. It becomes more of a loose art form when there's already current running through the cable, either because the other end is attached to a switch or the other end is attached to a 66 punch block. If that's the case, then there's some tricks that you can use to find the cable, and maybe I'll make a video on that at a later date, but this is an invaluable tool. Okay, next, I keep my fiber clip cleaners in here. Nothing too special about these. It's the same ones that you saw in my first video. These are used for cleaning fiber optic cables, and I keep them in my backpack just in case I ever need to do that. Okay, and last, down in the depths, the recesses of the main pocket of my backpack, is this tool. This tool has broken my heart. And that tool is the Pockethernet, or Pockethernet. This tool connects to your phone via Bluetooth, and it just simply has an RJ45 end on one and a power button on the other. It connects to your phone via Bluetooth and is able to test a cable, test the length of the cable, test whether or not that cable is attached to a switch, test the speed of the cable, can ping a server, can do a throughput test, and it's pretty buggy. I don't use it very often, and the last time the app or the firmware or anything was updated was a year ago, and a year ago was just minor bug fixes. So I don't use this very often, and I had high hopes for this, but alas, it has let me down. But I keep it in my bag just in case. It's not very big, so. All right, moving on to the next pocket. The next tool I have in my backpack is a lineman's handset. This is a pretty simple handset, and I use it for very simple things. It's basically checking for dial tone. It has alligator clips, which comes in handy when you're needing to check a line on a 66 punch block. It has an RJ45 connector and an RJ11 connector. When this is needed, it comes in very handy. All right, in the last pocket, I have a precision screwdriver set. It's just a generic screwdriver set made in China, and I think you could tell that there's some miscommunication in the Google Translate. The side of it says telecom communication tools. I love it, love it. It's got a whole bunch of bits that are very useful, and I really actually like this toolkit. Next, I've got a SATA to USB, Ethernet to USB-A, Ethernet to USB-C. Those come in handy when they are needed. And that is about it for that backpack. So let's move on to the next backpack. This backpack I picked up at Lowe's. It's just a generic tool bag in my opinion, but it's actually suited me pretty well, and it's able to hold everything that I need. Let's start on the outside. On this guy right here, I keep my Velcro strips and electrical tape. The side pocket, I have some work gloves for when I am in a crawl space or an attic space. This front pocket, I have my my fish tape. It is from Southwire. It's nothing fancy, but it does the job. In the front pocket, I've got this tool, and this tool seats an RJ45 keystone jack, and kind of allows you to have a better grip on it, punching it in, than if you just had it in your hand. And I've had times where I've actually made myself bleed by just holding the RJ45. On this side, I've got a 12-in-1 screwdriver set. I usually have a Phillips head screwdriver on this side, and I've got my flathead on the other, along with a pencil. I also have a nice little tape measure. I've found that I never really need a big tape measure for the things that I'm measuring, and this one just seems, it's just very handy and light. In this top pocket, I've got another precision screwdriver set and some dielectric grease for outdoor equipment, or any equipment that I'm going to be terminating, or I'm sorry, plugging in a cable that is going to be exposed to moisture. In the main pocket, we have some pretty fancy tools. I've got my punch down tool with a 110 knife and also a 66 knife as well. I've got my crimpers. This is, I believe it's the I forget the model number, but it's from Ideal. This is the crimper set for RJ45 and RJ11. Torpedo level for leveling racks and sometimes mounting TVs and things like that. A voltage detector, and also voltage verifier to make sure that what you're just about to plug into is terminated correctly. Butt splice connector crimpers. I rarely use these. If I'm going to be terminating a butt splice, I really just use my my multi-tool, but it's in my bag. Electrical snips. These are very handy. I use these all the time. Vice grips. Hammer. Cable stripper. Coax cable stripper. Wire cutters for those bigger gauge wires. Coax compression crimps. And last but not least is my label maker. This thing has been with me for years. It has been in a hot work van. It's been in a cold work van. It is pretty fully featured. It can do labels for just general labeling. It can do flag labels. You can print out an entire patch panel with whatever verbiage you want on it. Yeah, this comes in handy. All of the equipment that I have in my bags that I would personally recommend to you, I'm going to put a link through my Amazon affiliates account in the description for you to order if you're interested in purchasing those. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. And if you're in the field, what am I missing? What in my backpack may I not have that you think would be useful? I would love to hear some feedback. And I hope that maybe I have some things in my backpack that you've never even thought of. And I hope you found this video entertaining and educational. And again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.